Testing. Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael from China. And next session, the topic will be about scent of China. Okay, let's get started. First of all, I feel very proud and grateful to be here on the stage of accents to share the topic that I'm very proud of as well, sense of China. I'm Michael Feng Tianle from China, and the second generation of the family business, the general manager of DHFF. And Wendy, my wife, and I founded our brand, Voice from Sky, 5 years ago as well. And we have a booth at T13 at this time as well. It's the first time for us to be here. And thank you to be with us for this sharing session as well. Okay, let's do it. Now, what's going to be about? Go. Yeah. In the past few years, we've been selecting and collecting the Chinese featured naturals and also some accords inspired by our daily life, especially diets and traditional Chinese incense ceremony recipes. Okay, so today I'm going to share 9 of these ingredients and also 9 fine fragrances that I've been creating for my own brand or the brands of my friends. So to give you an idea of what we can do with these new ingredients. So in total, we have 18 scents to smell. Let's roll. So basically, this is how we organize all of these ingredients or bases. So this could be natural ingredients, base, or the recipe, or let's say the course inspired by the Asian instance. Let's start with the naturals. And that's how we classify all of them, basically by the parts of the plants where you do the extraction. Okay, the first one we're going to smell today is called aged tangerine peel. Okay, let's smell together. Or a better way to call it could be maturated tangerine peel. We all know soft citrus, tangerine, mandarin, we all know that. But then how we treat this is we got the peel and then we maturate it naturally for at least 3 years. It could be 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years even. Who ever tried aged tangerine peel before? Next time, if you have chance, once again, come to China, you can try 陈皮. Yeah, aged tangerine peel. 陈 means long time or maturation. 皮 means peel, so it's maturated peel. I think the two of my colleagues can spread the smelling strips together so that everybody can smell it. Okay, so the aged tangerine peel that we are smelling now, we process it for 3 years and then do the distillation. Okay, so as you can imagine, the D-limonene will fade out as time goes by, and then the major components of this ingredients will become linalool, linoleic acetate, and terpene, alpha beta terpene, okay, pine, as well as some ester as well, because the sugar in the fruits will be degraded naturally or be digested by the yeast, so that it becomes a fragrance itself. So gradually, aged ginger peel will become less citrusy, more floral, more woody, more medicine-like, and even with some oxidized, or let's say fermentation profile. And now let's see what we can do with this elegant oxidized citrus notes. Okay, so this is a fragrance that we create for a brand called Antles. It's a brand from Hong Kong, China. And this new perfume will be launched next month. It's called Golden Chenpi. Let's try together. So as you can see, here what we do is something new about citrusy, right? Because everybody likes citrus, it's delightful, but at the same time, sometimes it's too common. It's lemon, it's bergamot, it's lime, and people are a bit tired of this too common citrus. So people are looking for something new in the citrus family. Especially Chenpi can give the depth into the notes. So the Chenpi, the citrusy notes could be more long-lasting. And the scene that it wants to remind you is that in every household in Southeast Asia, some grandma would make the Chenpi in their own home. So they will hang all the peels at the window, and when the wind blows by, you will feel the freshness of the peel, and as time goes by, you will be maturated naturally. Okay. Now that's the example in the citrus family, or in general fruity seeds family. And now let's move on to the floral part. Of course, osmanthus. Of course, jasmine sambac, and we do the cold extraction of the jasmine sambac and tea. Geranium, gardenia, magnolia, very nice. And the one that I want to share with you today is winter sweet. Let's try this. Yeah. This lady got a very good point. It's like the lily of the valley in the winter in the Chinese culture. So here, for example, we have rose, jasmine, and lily of the valley. So correspondingly, from China, you have osmanthus, you have magnolia, and then you have this winter sweet and chrysanthemum that you will smell later on. So in China, we call it cool scent, or even cold scent, because this is the only flower that you can smell in harsh winter. This is the only flower that bloom in deep winter, right? So that it's a symbol of resilience, of authenticity as well. And from there, we develop a fragrance with a brand called Oriental Perfume, and it's also a boutique, very good boutique in China. 东方鼻子, it means Oriental nose. And the perfume that we developed together is called 如梦令. Let's smell together. This is a roll on. Okay, let me tell a story about this fragrance. You see the lady over there, and she's the most important female poem in the history of China, if not the only one. Like 1,000 years ago, she's quite educated. That's very different as a lady. And then 1,000 years ago, if you divorce as a lady, you'll be put in jail directly, no matter what. But she insists to divorce with her husband. Yeah. There is a line in her poem say, when I'm alive, I should be the hero. When I'm dead, I should be the master of the ghost. Yeah. Okay, so this is the fragrance that inspired by winter sweet. Okay, and the next ingredients that I would like to share with you is chrysanthemum. Let's smell this. I'm feeling like we'll prepare a very hardcore smelling session today. So yeah, our colleague is quite busy spreading the blood test. Wendy, can you help her together? 那个夏子，你们俩一起分，你们俩一起分，就是你分一半儿给 Wendy，就你蘸，然后一半儿给 Wendy，一半儿你自己弄。Yeah, it's chrysanthemum. It is also a tea, kind of tea that we can drink in this kind of season. And obviously, it is the only flower that you can smell in autumn. And I feel really excited and really proud that to work with an Italian brand from here, from Milan, called Gigi, and they have a booth over here as well. And it's their idea to use chrysanthemum as a core into this fine fragrance, and we use 10% of this absolutes in the final formula. And they have a series called Dialogue, basically a cultural, mutual dialogue to break the stereotype from the European or Western-centric point of view. So, for example, a chrysanthemum, from the brand's point of view, as people understand, is the flower for the death. But it's actually a very modern concept. They told me that it's because of the fact that after the First World War, when people want to have the memory of the heroes going to the battle, people want to have a memory of them. But at that time, when the war ends, chrysanthemum is the only flower that can bloom. It's a winter. It's autumn. Yeah. So that's where you have the idea or the concept that chrysanthemum is a flower for the death. But obviously, in Chinese tradition, it means totally different. It means dignity, because it is the flower bloom in autumn. So it's far away from the social fame or money or power. You want to keep authentic to yourself, to your identity, to your dignity. Okay. So the fragrance that we developed together is called Tianle. Basically, is chrysanthemum to break the golden cage, to make you stay true to yourself again. Okay, now we move to the herbal parts. And today we're going to smell perilla together. Perilla leaf. Does it ring a bell? Look familiar to any one of you? Perilla, yeah. When you have Korean barbecue and you roll the barbecue with the leaf, yeah. And in China, we call it 紫苏. Perilla, or shiso in Japanese cuisine. Okay. And there is a perfume in the line of my brand. It's called Let Me Out. Use Zizu as the top, at opening of the fragrance. For me, Zizu smells like cumin with some leafy and slightly peachy notes. Okay, so itself is a combination of freshness, grainness, together with this hot spice, and even a little bit aromatic. So they work really well with labdanum and frankincense. So this perfume is called Let Me Out. In the base, you can also smell labdanum, wool from the sheep, and also orris, and also vetiver. Because before this perfume, I actually made a chord for myself called Leave Me Alone. After years of hard work, I say, leave me alone. I want to have a comfort zone for myself to stay forever. And after I feel comfortable, I feel like, okay, I can walk on again. So that I make a knife to cut through the cocoon. Is turmeric leaf and shiso leaf. Okay. Banana extract, also very interesting. Now we'll go to roots. Please come to the booth and then I'll show you this one. Sand ginger is very interesting as well. And now we're going to smell cypriol from China together. Yeah. It's quite popular ingredients already, yeah? And in China, we call it 香附子. 香附子. It's kind of medicine, Chinese medicine as well. For me, Capril can work really well with vetiver. It's a more leathery and a little bit more spicy type of vetiver. And it can give the boost and also the dry down of the vetiver. Vetiver for me is very elegant, but it's at the base or at the waist. Yeah? So it's very at the bottom. But then cypriol, you can smell it from the top till the end. And the fragrance that we work with the brand together is called 香云砂. 香云砂 is a very important, very luxurious texture from China. And the process of processing this texture is that you make the silk texture and then you put it into a kind of mud and then pull it back to make it expose to the sunlight for a while. And then this process will go through more than 20 times. So it has the natural texture from the mud. And this fragrance is for the anniversary, the 9th anniversary of the brand. Because the brand will claim to its consumer that we have been going through a lot of obstacles, and now is a new period of the brand. We can be tough and at the same time open to the new era. Okay, so from this fragrance, you can feel the earthiness, but also the sunshine. Okay, those medicine-like ingredients. Now, we go to the second part. It's the base that we make inspired by everyday life, especially everyday diet. So you have tea, liquor, and food. For tea, we have green tea, we have oolong tea, we have pu'er tea. And now today, the ingredient I want to share is a Chinese liquor note. For Chinese liquor, traditionally speaking, we have four major directions. We have this sauce aroma, we have light aroma, we have strong aroma, and we have rice aroma, four directions. Now this one reminds you of kind of a soybean sauce flavor. Okay. Anybody heard of Mao Tai? Yeah, this is Mao Tai, right? Okay, and there's another perfume from my line called Talking to the Moon, and I use this Chinese liquor directly into the composition. It is inspired by a poem 1,000 years ago by Su Shi, Su Dongpo. It's the most important artists in Chinese history, in my point of view. One of the most important one. Yeah, he's really, really talented, and he's a governor as well. But he speaks too much about the empire, against the empire. So he was put away to the rural area, very remote, and he cannot get together with his brother, with his father, or other friends or families for 3 years. So this is a poem that he created during Mid-Autumn Day, where you're supposed to get together with your family, but you're alone, so you can only drink with the moon. So at the top, you can feel the camphor with frankincense, with alamy, to have the image of the moon. And then you have the Chinese liquor to have this dialogue between the moon. The poem is actually quite amusing as well. He said, "When do we have the full moon? I toast the moon to ask this question. I want to fly back to my palace on the moon, but I'm afraid of the coldness. Okay, so I'll be here, drinking along with the moon, and I dance to it as if I've already fly back." And on the second half of the poem, the rhythm slowed down. So obviously, we got drunk, and we sit on a chair and watching the moon across the sky for the whole night, from here to there, and the wind blow from the curtain. And he said, "I'm not supposed to be angry, but why you have to be full when I'm alone?" He said, "I'm not supposed to be angry," but obviously he's angry. So I imagine when he take a bite on the mooncake, which is sweet, there's a drop of tear getting into the mouth. So you can feel the combination of osmosis with castorol, so there's the combination of sweetness and bitterness. But then in the end, you smell some cashmere, because the poet says that sometimes we're together, sometimes we're separated, sometimes it's full, sometimes it's a croissant. It happens. Just wish the people can stay long with the universe. As long as we can share the moonlight, we are together. So the cashmere is the moonlight. It's also a comfort for yourself when you're down. Okay? And then we have the steamed rice. Let's smell together. Um, are we spreading the rice? No, the rice should be in the dipping in the blotter. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, now everybody is smelling the rice. Yeah, and now what we can do with the rice, we create a fragrance called I Believe with a brand called To Define. Let's smell this one. And the rice as the core of this fragrance. As you can see, it's like a curve of your life. Life begins with water. And then as you grow up, you have the spice. And then at the top, you have this food blessed by God, shared by everybody on the earth, growing from the earth. But then you meet your jasmine, your orris, you get confused and a bit lost. And then you see betrayal and lies from human beings. So the tension between the dry woos and also the mossy woos. But then in the end, you feel light again. This is the curve of our life and also the structure of the fragrance. Water, rice, and light, up and down. Okay? Now, another interesting dessert is date cake. I'm from the north of China, and this is one of the most popular desserts when I was young. Yeah. Has anybody tried this? Does it? Yeah. Okay. Good. Do you have something similar in your local food? It's bacon, yeah, bacon bread with date. Okay. Now, what we can do with this, we work with a brand called Effortless. The first perfume of this brand, and it's called Spring Chant. It's inspired by a poem again. Okay, let's try this one. And at the opening, you have this date note linked with a complex of rows. It is more like in between winter and spring, because in the winter we have the Spring Festival in China. It is still cold, but we eat something warm, and we're expecting the spring to come. So at the beginning, it's like the Spring Festival. People get together, eating the traditional food, and dreaming and expecting roses blooming in a coming spring. 粽子. Okay, and the last part that I'm going to share today is about some, let's say, very careful duplication of the Chinese incense ceremony, or translation, let's say, from Chinese incense ceremony into the liquid format. So, basically, we have 800-ish Chinese incense recipes recorded, and there are more than 300 of them are different. And then we try to classify them with different labels, and we find that the most important label is identity. So we classify all the recipes into 4 categories. And these are the 10 most important incense recipes with story behind. Okay, so the example that we're gonna smell today together is this one. And we're gonna smell the fragrance directly. We're gonna smell the fragrance directly. So this is the last fragrance that we're gonna smell. But we have almost 70 in the box. So yeah, we can talk later on. He's a close friend of Su Shi as well. Remember Su Shi? Who is Su Shi? Who is Su Shi? Su Shi, Su Dongpo, the poem that made the one that inspired Talking to the Moon. Remember? Yeah. So yeah, that's the poet. And this is another one. He's actually the prime minister of Song Dynasty, and is making this composition. Yeah. So when Chinese perfumers nowadays are making fragrances, we are taking those poets 1,000 years ago as role model or as competitor. Yeah. Sometimes I would think Su Shi, if he's alive, maybe he can be, yeah, one of our competitor. He can be good as well. Okay, so this is plum blossom. Obviously, there's no extraction of plum blossom back at that time. So the perfumers at that time would use the medicine-like and also the balsamic ingredients to mimic the feeling of it. Okay, that's so much for today. Thank you very much.